Good morning again. I am going to do this YouTube video over the Drake Library, and we're going to just have a 10-minute overview on how to search for your scholarly sources. Okay, so let me share my screen, and we will get right to it. Okay, when you come into your class, this is your landing page. Up here on this taskbar is your student resources. Go to library. And we had mentioned this before, that the library, these are the librarians on your left side. You have all kinds of writing tutorials. You are APA, MLA, the traditional campus uses that, but AGS courses, all of them are in APA. But up here, in this section here, is the tutorials on how to use EBSCO. I'm going to do a very brief overview on how to use EBSCO. There is much more data in here, and I would really encourage you to dig in there for your program. It'll make your research go easier in the future. All right, so those are there. Now, let's get back to how I get into the library. Is when I come in on my landing page, after I've logged in, on the left-hand side here, there are these icons. If you go to Quick Launch, it will bring you up to this page right here. And the databases that you can use are Credo, EBSCO, of course, the encyclopedia. There are various other ones. I almost always have used EBSCO. EBSCO then will just ask you which kind of databases do you want to use. And I think there are about 50. If I were to scroll all the way through, quite a few. So if you were only wanting medical journals, you would go through here and select that. You see health science, nursing, academic. You would just select the ones that you want instead of the entire database. For today, we're just going to use everything, okay? So I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm not going to select or deselect. I'm just going to say we're going to use everything. So let's continue. Oh, I guess we need to have at least one. Okay. This will bring you to where you can search by title. If you know the name of the article you're wanting or the book, you can search by title, you can search by author. This drop-down field here will give you those options. Most times, here's the journal name. Most times, I just used alt text. I'm going to show you in a few minutes, though, how if you find one article, how you can go to the reference section of that article and then maybe find a subsequent article to help you with your sources. Okay. So before we type anything in up there, let's go down here. And we want to have scholarly peer-reviewed journals. We want to make sure we get full text so that it's just not a paragraph or the abstract. We want the whole thing. And let's see, I don't think we really care about if they're diagrams or illustrations. Languages, it's interesting, but I found a really good article I was going to use in this example, and then when I opened it up, it was in Korean. So you may want to say that you only want articles in English, save yourself time, but it always will default to all. Another thing that you may want to do to narrow down your searches, and some of your classes may have that they don't want data from 20 years ago, but they want data within the last 5 years or the last 10 years. So I would typically have put a date in here. I'm going to use 2008, and I'll go up to 2020. So that'll narrow down the search as well. All right, let's, I was trying to think of a topic. At first I had tried learning styles and then time management. And then I thought, you know what, I will just use something more in the medical field. I had a family member have a stroke not too long ago, and we learned about the acronym FAST. So I put this in as my keywords and did a search. And you will see that there are 642 articles. Now, I know that all of these are going to be academic journals because I had selected that it had to be. I didn't want a blog or website. I only wanted something that's been peer-reviewed. So you'll see here it has this little icon that says academic journal. Now, here's a good article, number 1. Pre-hospital stroke scale. FAST plus test predicts patients with intracranial large vessel occlusion. Okay, so I want to look at that article. I would typically do it in the PDF full text. And then it's going to bring up an actual picture of what that article looks like. Okay, I want to mention here, as I did when we were in the last video about references, notice that this Mr. Daniel Vasilek, I'm not sure how you say it, but that he is listed first. That means he's the primary writer, the primary researcher for this article. When you would look over here on your right-hand side on these icons, if you will go here, I wanted to show you this real quick where it's, hold it, it's the 5th one down. It is on how to cite. And this will bring up samples of what this would look like on your reference page. This is so helpful. You can literally copy and paste this, okay, to your reference or to a Word document so that then you don't have to try and figure out, okay, did I need, is the 8 italicized, you know, what all do I need? It would all be here. Now, a word to the wise is make sure you check this over. This one looks to be correct for references. Again, notice if I were looking at that, I would think, oh, I would think it should be alphabetized, but it's not. It's by your primary writer of your article. Make sure that the name of the article, only the first letter of the first word is capitalized. Over here, you'll notice that because this is the actual acronym, I believe, for that test, they have put that in capitalized and put it in brackets as it appeared in the title. I don't believe a faculty would take off for that. I don't know enough medically to know if that is correct or not, so I would claim that that is correct. Okay, but this will help you. Again, that is that little cite icon, and from here you can literally copy and paste, put it in on a Word page so that you have that. Another thing I want to show you, let me get myself out of the way here. Let's go back. Okay, so now we want to look at the full article. You'll see your abstract. It's written in a magazine or a journal type format. There is what's called a folder that you as a student, if you will sign in and go through the process of creating an account for yourself, and when you sign in, you could literally save this PDF and dump it into your folder. So that, let's say you get to research for a little while, a couple hours or something, and then you get out of it, and then you can't remember what the name of the article was, or any number of things. If you have it saved here, and from there you can print it, you could copy it to your desktop. I just have found that that folder will save you some time. Okay, so we're going to get here to I just want to show you at the end their reference page. There are a lot of references in this article. Let's see, how many pages was it? Basically a 7-page article. If I go here, and let's say I've gotten all the good information that I want out of this article on stroke and the FAST acronym and what families members can do, or how soon they get you to the hospital so that you can get the correct medication to help stop that stroke, etc. You know more about that than I do. Then, let's say I've gotten all that information, but let's say I need more. Let's say this was great as a scholarly academic peer-reviewed article, but my faculty member has said I need 5. Oh, and maybe I'm struggling a little bit. Sometimes I have done this. I'll go in and I will look at the reference page and I'll say, oh, hey, this looks like this would be a good article. And I copy that. Okay. And then I will go back to that search page. Whoops. And I'll change this. Change this from just select anything, that I want a specific title. And I'll put that in there. And I will search. Oh, now that is crazy, because when I tested it, it worked. Bummer. Well, let me go back. That's really frustrating. I promise you I had that working. All right, let me clear out month, year, date, full text, scholarly. Okay, all of that is clear. Take all those out. All right, now let me try it. And I want it to be a title. That was the title of the article. Please work. There it is. Okay. Not sure why it didn't like it. Let's see what year this was done in. It looks like it was done in 2016. And it is an academic journal, so it is peer-reviewed. Not quite sure. Anyway, this is that other article then. Well, so I can look at this and say, oh, okay, well, maybe this applies to the topic that I was also doing on strokes and prevention, or the getting medical help ASAP. One thing I did not mention on the other article is, if you look here, you will see how many pages. I know from being a student that I typically would choose articles that were under 15 pages long, especially if I needed 5 or 10 sources. I don't think you're going to need upwards of 10 in a bachelor's program, but in a master's program, sometimes you did. I did not want to be swimming in 50-page articles and trying to get through that to write a 10-page paper. So that is one thing that is also helpful. Okay, now over here, see this little toolbar that will show up sometimes. If you are, this will give you your publication date. But let's say you really wanted anything on this topic from 2000. You could reselect that and change your dates. That's kind of helpful in narrowing down your searches. All right, so again, it's much like a card catalog from years ago, where you would go and if you were doing a research paper on vacations in Florida, you put in, you look up Florida, and it'll give you thousands of articles, and then from there you start narrowing it. Oh, that's on title. Let's go back to everything. And we've got, 220,000 articles. Florida, let's say the space program. Maybe we want to go to Cape Canaveral. Okay, let's see if that will pull it down. Okay, now we've got 154. So we could go from there on something further that we were trying to write about in our topic. All right, I hope that this is helpful to you on our on-ground class. we actually go to the library, and the librarians do about an hour overview with the library. I happen to be very visual, so I hope that my sharing the screen with you will assist you. Again, make sure you can use your folder. From there, you'll be able to save articles to your computer and organize. You know, if you're in intercultural nursing, and you have a project, and then let's say later you've got management and nursing, and you've got another project that maybe is close to that same topic, you might be able to use articles more than one time. All right. I think that's it. I always think of something else once I get off, but thank you. We're right at about, I think, 10 or 12 minutes, so I wanted to be respectful of your time. I hope that helps, and have a great day.